Welcome to the Mustang Report. Let's head on over to local news.
A mother who was once hailed a hero for protecting her family from intruders is now standing trial for the murder of her 20-year-old neighbor in an attempt to frame her ex-husband. Tracy Richter Roberts is accused of shooting Justin Weedy 9 times, including 3 times in the back of the head with 2 different handguns in her home at Early, Iowa in December of 2001. The mother of 3 was arrested in July in Omaha, Nebraska after the shooting was reopened. It was originally thought that Weedy had broken into the Roberts home with an accomplice and attacked her before she broke free, made it into the gun safe in her bedroom, and fired off 2 pistols to fend them off. Roberts allegedly killed Weedy, a special education student, because she felt she could not trust him to keep the secret to frame her ex-husband. The prosecutors say that Roberts proceeded to plant a notebook in Weedy's car that implied her husband, John Pittman, had hired the young man to kill her over a child custody battle. The trial began October 25th in Fort Dodge, where the jury will decide the fate of Tracy Richter Roberts in the 10-year-old case.
Let's head it over to state news with Mo.
Authorities found an Omaha man dead in the back of his SUV. The vehicle had been parked in the lot of a West Des Moines church. Twaddell was only 39 years old and had come to West Des Moines to help a friend trim trees. He looked for an open campground but couldn't find one, so he decided to park there instead. They think James Twaddell died of carbon monoxide poisoning because he used a charcoal grill to stay warm Friday night. His body was found the evening of the next day. Now, let's go over with Joe with national news.
There was a massive grain elevator explosion in a town in northeast Kansas. It claimed the lives of 3 workers and 3 others are missing. It also left 2 people hospitalized with burn injuries. Authorities say that grain under the right conditions can create explosions, but authorities are still investigating it.
Now, let's flush it over to Travis with politics.
Samuel Wurzelbacher, or Joe the Plumber, started a congressional campaign Tuesday, October 25th. He's hoping to get an Ohio House seat in the GOP.
Personal foul on the host, using terminology no one knows. GOP means Grand Old Party and is a reference to the Republican Party.
Thank you, Dylan, for that interruption.
Ow! What did I do to you?
Sorry. Samuel says that the current system is about control and that it needs to be fixed. After his status in the 2008 presidential campaign with Sarah Palin and John McCain, he increased his fame by writing a book and having multiple media and campaign appearances. He had turned down a chance to run for office in 2010, but is now challenging the longest-serving Democratic woman, Representative Marcy Kaptur. Word. What's the word with Anthony?
Giant Lego man.
Cookie. A bed.
Pterodactyl.
Velociraptor. Skydiving.
In Yemen, women are burning their traditional veils in protest of President Ali Abdullah Saleh's crackdown on demonstrations. This is a highly symbolic, defiant act. The act was inspired by the Yemeni activist Tawakkol Karman's Nobel Peace Prize last month. The women's protests occurred after the Yemeni government declared a ceasefire Tuesday, which did not hold. 10 people were killed and dozens were injured in an outbreak that day. Saleh promised to sign an agreement that would remove him from power in return for immunity from prosecution. Saleh, however, has promised this before and not signed the documents, instead clinging to power throughout the protests.
Now, it's over to Dylan with international news.
In Kabul, Afghanistan, a tanker exploded, killing at least 10 people and injuring 35 others. The tanker was filled with 18 tons of fuel and strapped with the mine. It was supposed to be detonated in the Bagram Air Base, but was detonated too early. The base is the center of American military operations in Afghanistan, and it is targeted a lot.
At the 25, breaks a couple of tackles. Headlock, go! Headlock, go! He could go all the way!
Hey, you, get out of our way!
Cardinals win the World Series. It was a surprising comeback after the Rangers were leading the Cardinals 3-2 going into Game 6. The Cardinals would go on to win the next 2 games and take the World Series in 7 games. This was the Cardinals' 11th title. In other news, former Cardinals manager Tony La Russa is retiring at age 67. La Russa served as a manager for 33 years, and this latest World Series win was his third. La Russa retires third on the all-time win list, and he says that he plans to open a bookstore in his retirement.
What beats rock, paper, and scissors? How about information? Not only are bombs and bullets taking flight, but also Twitter feeds. After the Taliban put false information and propaganda on the web, U.S. forces decided to fight back using the short but sweet 140 text message boxes we all know and love. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Cummings states, "We believe so far we have been successful with our increased social media activities, and ISAF will continue to grow and improve in this part of our communications realm."
This segment will have you defying the laws of physics.
I got to go check out the physics class. Let's see what they're working on.
So Melanie, what is a Rube Goldberg?
A Rube Goldberg is a series of small, complicated machines that all work together to do a simple task.
So how long have you been working on your Rube Goldberg project?
All semester. The goal is to get it all completed and working by the end of this semester.
So what is your simple task that your Rube Goldberg is going to accomplish?
Our task is to have that rubber band gun shoot a paper airplane through the makeshift goalposts over there.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Call it.
Move the AGM. Double hot.
Me? All of you.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Dadgummit.
Dang block land on the string and stop it.
Well, you know what? Let's keep it going. So
Look, knock off.
Seriously?
This is Extracurricular with Jackson Cole, and I am interviewing Cody for the FFA fruit sales. So Cody, how did this year's fruit sales go?
It went pretty good. We had some issues, but it went pretty fine.
Okay, and where does the money from the fruit sales go?
It goes to the FFA fundraiser, so we keep it for FFA.
Well, that's cool. So when will people get their fruit?
As far as I know, it's for the first week in December or the second week in December.
Well, that's coming up then.
Yep.
And will this be continued next year?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Unless they have different ideas.
Well, that was Extracurricular with Jackson Cole.
A charity haunted maze in a subdivision of St. Louis has been ordered to be taken down. The maze started in October 2010 to help for a family pay for a tombstone for their young child. Now in its second year, fellow neighbors came to help rebuild the maze and make it much larger, until a different neighbor complained. When the city inspector showed up, she noticed that because the maze had walls, it was considered a structure and was unsafe. But the bigger problem was that the maze was built on a vacant lot owned by a real estate company. When contacted, the real estate company said they did not want liability for the maze, so the maze must be taken down.
And
now,
Here's
Your
Mustang
moment.
Of
the week.
basketball game.